Why not check out our website at wrestlingfatherandson.weebly.com, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt and this is Son.
Hi.
And this is the week that was the WWE. This is Raw. Right, this is Raw, 29th of April. A little bit to get through, as always, so we'll crack into it, won't we? Raw started off with a moment of bliss, with Alexa Bliss coming out to introduce the Money in the Bank the competitors. They announced that there's going to be 2 Money in the Banks this year, a male and a female, and each match is going to have 8 participants, isn't it, Kai? Yep, that's it, right? So she introduced every single competitor one at a time. She started off with
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman, yes, and then she quickly introduced
Ricochet.
Ricochet, yep, and then it was followed by
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, and then lastly came out
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Yes, they're the 4 competitors on the Raw side, and obviously probably on SmackDown we'll find out who the SmackDown ones are. So they had a little bit of promo, all saying how they're all going to win the Money in the Bank. A couple of them competitors, Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin, already won the Money in the Bank, and they actually failed to cash it in. So I think there's going to be somebody new this year. Possibly Drew McIntyre at the minute. It's looking quite favourable to me, but we'll have to see. That sort of, their little promo sort of led into a match. They had a tag team match, Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin, wasn't it? But Corbin obviously over the last couple of weeks has been stealing the win from McIntyre, hasn't he? So he sort of had a tag on Drew McIntyre as he was winding up for a Claymore kick. That obviously annoyed Drew McIntyre, so he sort of went and he punched him in the face, didn't he? Punched him, Baron Corbin, in the face. Braun Strowman picked him up for his slam, and then Ricochet did a shooting star press to get the win. That's how they ended that little sequence. So yeah, they've now starting to build up the match for Money in the Bank, which is good to see, isn't it? Next we had the Usos versus Gallows and Anderson. Not much to that match. The Usos went and won. They had a little bit of a promo on the Revival, show a backstage video where the Revival were shaving the back, weren't they? Shaving one of them, I think it was Dawson. I think it was Dawson's back. I think Dash Wilder was shaving Dawson's back. I think I got that right. And obviously that incense.
And the Usos were spying on the Revival.
Yeah, they were spying on them. Yeah, as they were doing it. That sort of brought the Revival to have a sort of back and forward promo. But the Usos had a little bit of a jokey promo, and they sort of said about their match later on. The Revival said about their match later on in the night against Ryder and Hawkins. They sort of went away. Obviously they're sort of teasing a match here, so we'll see what happens in the future. Next we had Miz TV, Bobby Lashley. Basically the whole gist of the sort of promo was about Bobby Lashley's potential. He hasn't reached his potential, which I think is true. I think that's a reality promo. I think that's true of Lashley. But he sort of insulted the Miz's father, and then the Miz sort of attacked Lashley, and then they sort of set up a match. But during the match, Shane McMahon came out, didn't he, to cause a distraction to the Miz. He showed the picture of his dad, didn't he? And then he turned round into Bobby Lashley. What did Bobby Lashley do?
Spear.
He did a spear, yes, he did a spear to the Miz and won that way. And then Bobby Lashley and Shane McMahon then proceeded to attack the Miz. But then that filled in later on in the show. Miz had a backstage promo later on, and he asked and challenged Shane McMahon to a steel cage match. Yes,
I like steel cage matches.
Yes, that should be a quite interesting one, especially with Shane McMahon in that one. But yeah, so we'll see. I think that'll be Money in the Bank, obviously, and I think that's going to be quite a good match. If the WrestleMania one was anything to go by, it should be a really good match, shouldn't it? Next we had the Viking Raiders versus the Lucha House Party. Obviously last week they did have that match, but it didn't get started, did it? Because the Viking Raiders attacked the Lucha House Party and destroyed them. That didn't happen this week. It was a reverse. The Viking Raiders, who are still called the Viking Raiders, there was a rumour they were going to change their name on Raw, but they didn't, so that's good. They were coming out for their entrance, and then they got attacked by the Lucha House Party, had the match, but then the Viking Raiders destroyed the Lucha House Party and got the win. Next we had Moment of Bliss Part 2, which was the Women's Money in the Bank. Same sort of format. Alexa Bliss introduced each of the competitors for the women's Money in the Bank. So they were Natalia, then
Dana Brooke.
Yep, Dana Brooks, and then it was
Naomi.
and then the last competitor was hyped up a little bit, but then it turned out to be
Alexa
Bliss. Yes, and they sort of had the same sort of promo about how they all deserve to win Money in the Bank. That proceeded in then Naomi to say, right, if you put your money where your mouth is to Alexa Bliss, and we'll have a match. Alexa Bliss was saying about her shoes, about she didn't have the right shoes on, but Naomi said, "Oh, I could beat you with my shoes on or off," and that sort of feeds into the match later on. Then we went to the Bray Wyatt's Fireflies Funhouse. Again, the start of these.
Different.
Yeah, it was a little bit different this week, but
he was painting.
Yeah, he was painting. I'm very impressed with these. These have turned out to be really one of the best bits of Raw at the minute. Yeah, he was doing a painting, and then we got introduced to one of his new characters, which was Ramblin' Rabbit. And he showed him the picture, and the picture was a burning house. So there's still them sort of Bray Wyatt tendencies underneath the sort of surface there. And then we saw Abby the Witch, and then he sort of come up with the word of the day, which was sociopath. It's a bit of a difficult word to say, that one, isn't it, Kai? Sociopath. There we go. Yeah, they're really, really impressive, these little sequences, and I can see the potential is going to be big. It's massive for Bray Wyatt here. They need to keep going with these, but hopefully they won't outstay their welcome and they'll get a bit too stupid. But hopefully they're going in the right direction. But then we went back to Raw, and they said that they made during that sort of Fireflies Funhouse, they'd made the Naomi versus Alexa Bliss match official. They had the match. Alexa Bliss was struggling with her shoelaces, obviously feeding into the shoes earlier, and then she took her shoes off, but that caused Naomi to get the win. And then Naomi obviously took the victory. Then we had another backstage promo with Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic about how he needs to beat Samoa Joe and that, and he's not had the best run on Raw at the minute. But after that, we had Becky Lynch come out and do the promo again. It's the same sort of promo as she's been doing for the last few weeks. It was about basically how she's defending both belts on Money in the Bank. Obviously, one against Lacey Evans, one against Charlotte. And then that sort of proceeded to bring out Lacey Evans, and they got into a brawl and separated. It's kind of the same old stick, really, with Becky Lynch, these sort of brawls and the same promos, to be honest. I like Becky Lynch, but I think she's got so much potential. She could do a little bit more and a little bit better. Next we had Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins versus the Revival. Zack Ryder and Hawkins won. Not much to that. Then we had Sami Zayn do the same promo again about how he felt happier not being on Raw and time away. Let's say I'm not feeling it. It is what it is. I hopefully somewhere they're going to go somewhere with Sami Zayn in the future, hopefully, instead of these promos, because I think they're a little bit boring. Next we had Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio got a cheeky roll up and he won, and then they had a little bit of a celebration with his son, by his son getting him on his shoulders, which I thought was quite funny. He got him on his shoulders and did a celebration. And then we got into the main event, or the main sequence, which was Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles in a contract signing, wasn't it? Quite a good promo, wasn't it? I thought it was a really good promo. They're really hyping up that match. Obviously, it's one that the fans want to see. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And they really did hype it up, saying about how this is now Monday. Go on.
He's going to win.
Who do you think Seth's going to win? Well, we're going to do predictions a bit closer to the time, a couple of weeks, but I think at the minute I'm feeling the Seth Rollins win as well. They did a little promo about how it was not the house that AJ Styles built anymore, because he's jumped to Raw. It's now Monday night. What is it? Rollins, yes, Monday Night Rollins, and they sort of proceeded then to get into a bit of a scuffle and a fight, and then AJ Styles did a phenomenal forearm, didn't he? Phenomenal forearm to Seth, and then what happened?
It broke the table.
They went through the table, yep, and then they had AJ Styles celebrating at the end. Again, I think we've struggled with some Raws over the last few weeks, months, years. This is actually quite a solid, I think, quite a solid Raw. Obviously there's bits of Raw that are a bit boring, that are not great, like Sami Zayn, in my opinion, Sami Zayn bits, but overall I thought it was really quite good, and they've gone in the right direction, and I'm quite feeling the shake up a little bit. I'm happy to see some of them on Raw now. What did you think of Raw this week?
It was perfect.
You thought it was perfect, did you? I don't think it's as perfect as what you're saying, but I think it's getting there. It's going in the right direction. obviously, you know, like I say, WWE is kind of like that. It's kind of like this sort of roller coaster. It goes really good, goes really bad, really good, really bad, and I think it's kind of in the middle at the minute. It's got the potential to go really good, or it could go really bad. We'll have to see in the future. Hopefully, we'll get back to at least some really good Monday Night Raws. As of recording this is Tuesday, so SmackDown is tonight. We'll find out what who's in them Money in the Bank on the other side, on the male and the female. We'll obviously find that out tonight, and we'll also see what happens with Kevin Owens and Kofi Kingston going forward. So you have to join us in that video. So yeah, if please like this video, then please like, comment and subscribe. We really appreciate all that, and we'll see you in the next video, hopefully, and that will be the week that was WWE, the week that was WWE SmackDown's edition. So I'll say goodbye. Say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.